So today we're talking about digital skills for everyday tasks. And if you need to know anything about any of the Google tools, or if you want to see what's available with Google training, if you'll go to this URL, google.com/grow, that's where you can find all of the information, be it a teacher, student, a small business, a developer, a job seeker, military transitioning to civilian life, it's all there. And if you're tweeting or posting, if you'll use the hashtag #GrowWithGoogle, then what's nice is it will let the Google team know that this matters to you and encourages Google to create more like this. Now, I am a Grow with Google professional trainer. I officially am with the Google team. And so you'll see me right here, and you can find me if you are on Twitter, right here, that's my Twitter handle, or on Instagram. Feel free to connect with me on socials, okay? All right, let's go ahead and dive in. All right, Tara, let's see, she's got webinar ID. Okay, so I'll just read this out because I know the rest of you can't see it. Tara says the webinar ID is 861-432-003. Okay, thank you, Tara. All right, so how can we work remotely, right? Because digital skills for everyday tasks does mean that we are doing a lot more remotely. And a lot of us during 2020, as the whole business environment transitioned, we actually became very good at this. But a lot of us now are in situations where we're in hybrid situations. So we're doing a lot of juggling back and forth, which means we might be working with forms back and forth. We might be exhausting ourselves because a lot of people do believe when they are remote that they now need to be connected 24/7. And that can be super stressful and super exhausting. In fact, I do want to ask you a question. Let me see if I can do that here. Okay. No, I don't think it's enabled. But I do want to ask you a question. As you've been working more remotely, what are some of the challenges that you've come across, especially with digital skills? Let me know in the question box, because I'd like to make sure that during your time here, I deliver exactly what you're looking for. And today we're specifically looking at digital skills. All right, so here are some tips, of course, to stay sane and keep yourself and give your coworkers a little bit of grace. All right, let me know. Yes, Sonia, I can't type in the ID because the question box is one way, so I cannot type in it one way. So let me say it one more time. Again, that's the limitations of the platform. I just can't do that. So it's 861-432-003. But just know that the recording will be sent out to you. If you're looking for the recording on GoToWebinar, I delete it immediately because of the privacy section. So it'll be deleted immediately as soon as it's rendered. So it's best to make sure that you've commented here so you get that, okay? All right, let's go ahead and jump on in here. One of the things that we see a lot of people doing is their everyday task list. Of course, we have them on all different formats, right? Post-it notes, we keep it in a journal, sometimes on a little slip of paper, or the little pads that a lot of nonprofits like to send out to us. So we'll do that, but often that's difficult to do when you're working with a team or remotely. Just so that you know, I've been remote actually since 2008. I'm housed in Midland, Texas, but I work with the Google team and I go all over the nation and have worked with them in several Google offices across the United States. But also, I've worked with an international team. For the last 14 years, I've been internationally e-commerce focused. So I do understand the challenges and also the benefits of working remotely and some of the things that you'll come across with digital skills. So how many of you, by letting me know in the question box, so let me know in the question box whether or not you have used Google Sheets. I'd love to know. Just let me know if you've used Google Sheets or Google Calendar, Google Docs, or Google Slides. Let me know that in the question box, okay? Google Sheets, Google Calendar, Google Slides, or Google Docs. Okay, Brandy, so very little. So I see a no here as well. Not used it, I have not used it. All right, just so that you know, those Google tools, and I'm going to show you how to use these because they actually equal their counterparts, which are in Microsoft, but there is no license involved. If you have a free personal Gmail account or a free Google account, then you have everything that you need without having to pay for anything more. So you don't have to have the paid workspace account. All right, so today we're going to be talking about how you can create a to-do list with Google Sheets, how you can create a meeting agenda with Google Docs, and then also how you can build a presentation with Google Slides. Just so that you know, Google Sheets operates just like Microsoft Word, or sorry, Microsoft Excel. Sorry, Google Sheets, Microsoft Excel. Google Docs works just like Microsoft Word, and Google Slides works just like PowerPoint. Okay, so like Microsoft PowerPoint. And then as I always end up, I share resources and how you can apply what you just learned. Everything that I'm talking about today is 100% free. All right, so everything that you need here is 100% free. So the first thing you need to do is sign into your Google account. Now, if you have a free personal Gmail account, you're good to go. All you need to do is sign in and you're there. So you'll see that depicted in the graphic in front of you. But if you don't have a Gmail account and you don't want one, not to worry, you don't have to have one. You can set up what is known as a free Google account. You'll go here when you go to google.com or to gmail.com even. You're not going to set up Gmail, but you're going to go to google.com/accounts or just google.com, and you will create an account. And now you will use your email address. It does not change it to Gmail, and create a password. And like any other password protected site online, this is what you will use to be able to access a free Google account. And yes, absolutely, Sonia, let me do that a little bit slower. 861-432-003. 861-432-003. Not really sure why you need that number, because as long as you're logged in here and as long as you've commented in the question box, you'll get a copy of today's slides. You won't get a copy of today's slides or the recording by having that webinar ID, because there's that doesn't stay in the container. So I wasn't sure why you need it, but let me know, because I'm here to help you and make this the best learning experience for you. So hopefully that was slow enough, Sonia, but let me know, or Sana, let me know, okay? All right, so now once you've created your Google account, now you can get in and access all these free Google tools. Remember what I said, Google Sheets works just like Excel. Google Docs works just like Word. Google Slides just like PowerPoint. Photos, now I love Google Photos because the reason, and this is a side note, because I work with a lot of teams across the world, is we like to use this to pass photos. Now what I do with my phone is I back up all my photos here. So every photo, even my kiddos' photos, I got 3 boys, even my kiddos, I save all of that there, so I never have to worry about losing my photos. There's always a backup, and I always do it instantly with Google Photos. You can do it instantly, or you can wait till you're connected to Wi-Fi. You can have that setting any way that you want, but you can set that up too. There's also Google Chrome, which is available. That's a browser. If you are in marketing, Google Chrome is invaluable because it gives you a lot of marketing insights that you don't have through any other browser. And then many people are familiar with Gmail. In fact, several people have several Gmail accounts, right? So that's email through Google. So these are what's known as the Google applications. These are 100% free, and you don't have to have the paid workspace or business account at all. You get this with your free personal Gmail or Google account, but you can see right here that you can find those in what's known as the app keypad, or the waffle, as we trainers like to call it, the app waffle. So when you are in your Google account, you'll see that app waffle, that app keypad at the top right-hand corner here, circled there in that gold. If you look at that, that's where you'll connect and go to your Google Drive. Now, as you see, when you click here, what actually comes up are all the free Google tools and applications that you have access to. All right, so once you see that, you're going to look for Google Drive. That's the primary color triangle right there. You will click on that. And when you click on that, it takes you to Google Drive. It opens up a new tab. And what Google Drive is, it's a 15 gigabyte storage, free storage space, where you can store everything from photos to sheets to anything. Now, actually, photos have a separate spot if you want to keep them separate and save this just for documents or slides or things that you want to share with other people. But you can put this all here, and it's free, and you don't even have to have a program to open any of these things to use this. So it's a really cool program, instead of you having to use something like Dropbox or another tool and pay for another subscription, right? Because this is 100% free. So I'm showing you this because a lot of times when you open up your Google tool, so you click on the app keypad, when you click on it and you save something, you don't know where it went. Well, it's saved to Drive. Everything. Google is always saving, which is what I love too. So I'll show you all of that in just a few minutes, okay? So I see people have used Google Talks. Hello, Linda, I see you're here, and use Google Calendar, more than that, but okay, let me show you how you can first create a to-do list with Google Sheets. So the first thing you're going to do is, when you're in Google Drive, you're going to get to Google Sheets, and you're going to open up Google Sheets to create a to-do list. Now, I can show you this actually depicted here, and the graphics in front of you and the slides, and that's why I say it's really important to comment here in the question box, because the slides are a really cool checklist taking you all the way through all of this. You'll see there's a template gallery where you actually can access already made templates for you. So I've shown you this now here on the slides, but I do like to do a live demo, and that's why I was checking to make sure that the internet is working and playing friendly with us. So let me show you what that looks like. When you are in a Gmail account, this is what a Gmail account looks like. This is my demo Gmail account. And you'll see you're going to click here on the Google app keypad, and you see how all the free tools that you have access to comes up. Now, if you don't want Gmail, not to worry, when you start a free Google account, this is what it's going to look like in your free Google account. And I'm just going to make that bigger since I'm broadcasting. So you see in front of you when you're in your free Google account, it doesn't look like the previous screen. What you see here is actually this screen, but you still have that app keypad here, giving you access to all of these great Google tools. So when you are in the app keypad, be it that you're here in your free Google account or that you're in Gmail, you'll look for that primary color triangle. And when you click on that, you will see it opens up another tab, and that is your Google Drive where everything is stored. Now, if I'm going to start a new sheet, I'm going to click New right here, and then I'm going to hover down to Google Sheets, and you will see when I get over to the arrow here that I can start a blank spreadsheet, or I can choose to start a sheet from a template, already made free template gallery. So in this instance, because I'm making a to-do list, and I know that there's a to-do list template in the template gallery, I am going to click here. Even if I don't know, I would look here just to see if that hard work's already done for me. Now, when I clicked on that, what happened is it took you to the template gallery. In front of you, you see the template gallery. These are all free templates already laid out with all the formulas and all the information that you need to start any of these things, from a monthly budget to a schedule to a travel planner to even a purchase order. Some people use Google Sheets to run their payroll. Some small businesses do that to track the website traffic and to be able to do reports like that, or even for attendance or a grade book if you're in the education field. So there's a variety of different free templates here that you can use. And in this instance, we're going for a to-do list. So what happens is I see the to-do list right up here. When I hover over it, I can click on it. And when I click on it, what happens is then you'll see this little thinking ball right here at the center. And what it's doing is it's taking that template and bringing it into your Google Drive. So you're not at all adjusting or messing with the template gallery. You yourself are taking that document, or Google's taking it and bringing it into your Google Drive. So you see here now that you can customize this, that a lot of times there's just gibberish or words that are placeholders that now you can customize to what works for you. All right, so let's look at that within the slides, and I'll go back to live demo in just a moment. All right. All right, so let's see here. From the template, when we look here, we're going to do that to-do list. So I've showed you how to do that live, but here in the slides, you'll see you're looking for that personal spot, that personally made template gallery, and you're looking for in the personal section, the to-do list. Once you get in the to-do list, then once you get here, you're able to now customize everything within your to-do list. So I'll show you that in just a moment when I do that live. So you can rename it up here. In fact, let me do that because I prefer that. And since in person, I prefer that as a live. Let me do this. All right, so I'm going to call this Maria's Wednesday to-do list. All right, that's all I need to do is type there and hit enter. You'll see that at the top here, it looks just like Microsoft Word, but what's really cool is you do not have to worry about saving. So you don't see that little floppy icon or the save or anything floppy disk icon, because Google is always saving. So you don't have to worry about power glitches. You know, for those of us in West Texas, we know about those power surges, right? We don't have to worry about any of that. All of it's being saved, which is what I love. Now you can come in here, you can rename it, you can star it. So if you star it, that means it will show up at the top of your Google Drive. If you have a lot of things in there and you're working on something and you don't want to have to worry about digging through all of that, you can star it and make sure it shows up here at your Google Drive. You can also move it to a folder. Let's say you've created a folder for to-do list. So you can click move here, and it'll show you all your different folders. So if you wanted to move it to the folder that's like webinar plans, then I could go ahead and move it here. All I do is click move here, and that's all it did. It just moved it and put it and organized it so I can find it in the folders I've created to hold all of my documents and things on Google Drive. Make sense to everybody? All right, so here's what you can also do here. You see how you can change the font? So if I wanted to, I could change this font right here to, let's say I like Arial better, or let's say I want to get a little bit, they're a little scribbly, so I'm going to use Comic Sans, right? But I could also go in here and let's say I highlight the whole row. So every letter is a row, every column is known as, or every column is a letter, every number is a row. So what we're looking at here is column A, row 1, and we can go in here with this, within the entire row 1 and change the color. Let's say I like blue better, okay? Or let's say maybe I like red better. I'm in the Christmassy mood and this to-do list is for Wednesday coming up and planning Christmas. Whatever you want to do, you can customize it the way you want. What's also nice here is you can go in here and start changing things. So for example, let's say I need another column of my to-do list. I can just click here on that, right click, that I want to insert a column either to the left or to the right of that column. And when I do that, then I get another column there. All right. Now, remember what I said, though. Let's see. As you do things in your to-do list, the formula that's already in that sheet will already cross it off. When you ever click here, it'll already cross this out. But let's say that you want to share this with somebody because you're working with somebody. So you're going to share this with them. You'll see up here the big share button. You can share it and you can decide to email them to put their email address to share it here, or you can create a link and copy that link and then just share that link with them when you're talking to them on Slack or Zoom or texting them, okay, or within your actual email. So you can send that to them and share the actual to-do list so that it's always updated and you don't have to go through that stress of, okay, do you have the version that she sent out Monday morning or was it Monday afternoon? Are we on version 1 or 1.5? None of that time wasting is a part of your day anymore because you now all have access to this in real time. So the biggest question that people have at this point is, okay, so we all have access to it. What if somebody messes it up? And now we've lost the formula, we lost some important information because you shared it with somebody and they messed it up. Not to worry. What I love about Google Tools is if you click on File here, and I'm showing you this and we're taking this time here because this is something you'll see in all of the Google tools. When you hit version history, you can click see version history. And now you can see all the versions when something was changed on the actual sheet. So let's say, for example, somebody deleted something, then you can go back to the original version, bring that up, and if you want to restore it, you can, or if you want to keep it as another copy of it and make a copy and name that version, you can too. That way you can compare it. But as I said, that's what I love about Google Drive and any of the Google tools is they're always saving. So let me make sure that I've shown you everything in here because you might have other questions. Let me know if you've got questions right now in the question box. Again, let me see here, you could populate your sheet by adding tasks. You can add the date in there as well. The to-do list is already built to take care of all of this. You can see that you can add columns or even rows if you wanted to. I showed you how to add a column, but to add a row, let's go to this live demo. I would click on the row. Let's say I want to add a row here on 6. I would click here, right click. You'll see this drop down menu up here, and I can decide to insert a row above or below. So either or. Let's say I want to put one below, above because I want something between 5 and 6 now. Instead of having to delete and do that again, I can just add another row in between. It renumbers everything and you're good to go. All right, let's make sure we've seen everything else in there. So you can see that actually shown within the to-do list for you there within the slides. Once you've done that, you can now customize things every way you'd like to. If you want to customize the color, you want to put in names of people who will actually be the owner of that task, you can put that too. You can decide on the font size and change that. Again, right up here looks exactly like Word. And you can even change the color of the font or the color of each of the cells. Now, if you're not familiar with that term, as I said, every column has an actual letter with it and every row has an actual number. So when we look at the actual rectangle where they intersect, like in this instance, C1 is where we see, or C4 is where we see prepare the budget for review, the address of that cell, that rectangle as a cell is C4. So when we're in C4, we can decide to colorize C4 if we want to. So you can know each of the different rectangles in there by their actual address by looking at the column and at the row. So you can make it blue if you'd like. You can also Make sure that it is updated on the Drive tab and double check to find your sheet in Google Drive. Remember what I said, so you see that other tab here, because whenever you started a sheet, it opened up a new tab. You can go back to this other tab, which is your Drive. Remember, we saw that when I was even doing mine, so I'm going to go back and bring my actual live demo. So you see when I created the to-do list, how my Drive is right here, right? It's right, that tab next to it, because it opened up a new tab. So we do see that that is what happens. And that's where we can find our to-do list, our copy, our personalized copy of our to-do list, okay? No worries, Talani, welcome, welcome. So that's how you create a Google Sheet. Let me know if you have any questions about that, because it's really important that you feel comfortable with this, because it is a free tool that really helps you stand out amongst a lot of people who are looking for people who have digital skills and can work remotely. In fact, a lot of times you're often asked, if you're interviewing or looking at upgrading your job, a lot of people are asked, you know, do you have any digital skills? Can you work in Excel, Word, and PowerPoint? And if you can use Sheets, Slides, and Docs, you can work in all of those, because it's the same as the Microsoft products, except that there's no license involved, okay? So when you're in Google Docs, then what you can do to start a Google Docs, let's say you're in charge of the meeting agenda, you're putting the meeting agenda away. So Google Docs, remember, works just like Word. So when you're in Drive, you're going to go click on the new here, and you'll see, click on that new. Once you click on new, it'll bring up this drop-down menu. You'll go to Google Docs, you'll hover over the arrow here, and you'll see then this drop-down menu for a blank document or from a template will show up. Remember what I said, there's a bunch of free templates available that already have everything formatted to how you need. So it'll bring up the template gallery in this instance, because we're clicking on from a template. And in the template gallery, we can find the document that we want to use. So let me show you what that looks like in a live demo. All right, so I'm going to go back here into my Drive and do just like what the slide said to do. I'm going to go to Google Docs, hover over here, brings up from a template, and now you see the template gallery come up. And that template gallery has everything from resumes to letters, to cover letters already set up, really giving you some really good strategies set up already that you just have to fill in the blank, or for work, if you need any of these other things for work. Maybe you need to do a brochure, maybe a training proposal, maybe even for HR. So you can see there's just, I mean, I can keep on scrolling, but there's a lot there. And in this instance, we are looking for agendas, because we're going to make it a meeting agenda. And let's say that I click on this one, meeting notes. So I'm going to do meeting notes. You will see that it brings it in, and then it creates this meeting note that now lives within my Google Drive. So it's taken it out of the gallery and saved it to my Google Drive. Okay, so when we're doing that, what you can do now is you can customize this text. Remember, it's just holding text, holding the spot for there. And when you customize that, you can put in and take out this gibberish and put in what you need. You can also go here and actually change the text up if you want it a little bit different, use a little different font than what's available to you within the actual template. You can actually change the color too, so you see in front of you where you can do that. Again, at the very top, works just like Word. And as you're going through here, you can insert comments too. Now, I didn't show you that in the to-do list, but I will show you that here, that you can insert a comment. Let's say you're working with a team of 4 people and you all are all in charge of putting together the team meeting notes, okay? So everybody's gonna add their part, but you don't have to want to worry about who has what version and who wants to be in charge of compiling all that, when you guys can do it on yourself right there. So here's how you do that. Bring up the live. All right, so let's say I wanted Abby to work on the new business, this new business, to add a new piece of business. So you'll see once I click and drag, all right, so that's left click and drag. Once I do that, what happens is now you'll see these boxes show up, and you can see I can add a comment. So I can say, Abby, please add your question about new hires here, okay? Or please add your agenda item, whatever it needs to be. You can do it this way. You can also bring her in by what we call plussing her in, which actually not only changes the sheet, but sends an email to her, because not everybody is looking in to see if they've got a Google notification that there has been an update to a Google Doc that they're working at. So if I say plus, and let's say this is Abby's email address. So I'd actually bring her email address in, and I'd say, please add your agenda item here, and then I would assign it to her. Once I assign it to her, it will email her that she has this. When she clicks on the email, it'll take her exactly to this document, exactly to this comment. Okay, so I can do that, or again, I can just comment her in. Either way, you've got both available to you. All right, any questions about that? Because that really is helpful remotely. So I work with a remote team of about 40 people, and whenever we work on a document, there could be 12 of us on there, and it really is helpful to be able to do that. Because can you imagine 12 people trying to go back and forth on what it is that they actually need and who has the latest version? So it makes collaboration a lot easier. And what I taught you about plussing them in with their email address so that they get notifications, it's actually shown here in this animation on the slide. So you see that happening. You can also share, just like we did with the sheets, you can share it with them by sending it by email or by a link. Now, a lot of people like to do it a lot of different ways. Sometimes they want to send it to email, by email to those who could edit the actual document. But sometimes you don't want somebody editing it. You just want them to have eyes on it. So what you can do is I can share here and say, all right, I want her to be able to edit it. But let's say I had somebody else I wanted to add. Let's say trainer@gmail.com, and I don't want her to edit it. She can only view it, or she can only make comments on it. So you can get very granular on the access everybody has to a sheet or a doc. You can do this for both the sheets that I showed you on the to-do list, or you can also do this for docs, which is what you see in front of here, which works just like Word. Make sense to everybody? All right. So you see that you might be working with a board of directors where you want, let's say, the bookkeeper to be able to go in and adjust the budget. But for everybody else, you just want them to see the budget. You don't want anybody working with the formulas there. The same thing with the agenda. You might have board of directors or supervisors that you want them to see the agenda, but they're not the ones to craft the agenda. Make sense to everybody? Just let me know in the question box if you've got any questions, because we're going to move on to the third item, which is how to build a presentation utilizing Google Slides. So also within your free Google account, you have the ability to do Google Slides. So again, let me show you this in the app keypad. Let's say we're in our Gmail account, all right? And then we can click here and we can go to Google Drive. In Google Drive, when we click New, now you see you have slides available to you. And you also, as you hover over that right-hand corner there, that right-hand arrow, oops, let me see, you can do from a template. When I do that, it brings up a whole new tab, and you can see templates already laid out, which is really cool because I've done a lot of the heavy design lifting for you. So let's say I'm going to share a big idea. I click that. It's actually bringing it into my drive, is what you're seeing in front of you. Now, what's nice is I can go in here and let's say I want to format, let's see, the text. I can change out the text. I can change the layout here. I can bring in themes. So let's say, not all about that theme here. I'm looking for more of a minimalistic theme, like this, okay? So that's what I like a little bit better. I can change it as I see fit. And then of course, let me see here. I can't see it because my camera's blocking it. See that little arrow right here? You can undo it. So if I undo that, it'll bring it back to the original design, or I can redo that. So there's no save, because always when you go here to File, Version History, see Version History, you'll always see different versions of when Google Drive is actually saving it to your drive. This is really cool if you're working, let's say, with a team and you're doing a presentation on, let's say it's your quarterly report. So the quarterly report, and everybody has a different section that they're doing. Now everybody can work on it, but you don't have to worry about anybody messing it up. So you all know that you have the most latest, greatest, up-to-date version of that. So let's go through that in the slides, so you'll see that you'll have this with you when you get a copy of today's slides. In Google Drive, you'll click that New. When you click on New, Google Slides comes up. We'll see that arrow on the right. You hover over there. We'll say from a template, because we're going to look to see if something's already built that can help us and shortcut our work. Yes, it is, because we are going to do a presentation about our ideas. So we're going to make that presentation about that big idea, and we're going to click here, bring that into our Google Drive. And when we do that, now we can customize all of the different text that is just holding spots. We can create a title for the project name. We can also choose the layout if we want to change the layout a little bit. Remember what I said also, you can change up the theme. So that's the layout actually being changed up there. You can also add additional slides right here. You see the little gold circle around the plus. That means you want to add a title slide, a section header, maybe a caption, whatever you want to add. There's already built-in formatted layouts already in there. And then, let me see here. What you can do is you can also add visuals. So you can select the layout, select the team, bring in the different slides, or select the theme. Sorry, tried to say that too fast. Select the different layouts that you like, and now you can go in and add visuals. So let's say you would like to insert an image in here. You would click insert, you go over image. When you go over image and hover over that right corner to the right of image, the word image, you'll see that you have the opportunity to upload from your computer or even search the web. Here's the only advice I have for you if you are doing this live with people in front of you, watching you on a screen. Don't search images on the World Wide Web unless you're ready to just see whatever the World Wide Web wants to give to you, okay? So just be cautious about that. That's why we trainers never do that part live, right? We just don't know what'll be out there. But you can actually search the web and bring in this kind of information, these kind of photos here that you might want to bring into your actual slide presentation, okay? So you can do that if you're doing that privately or working with a group. You can bring that in and customize all of your visuals here and make it really nice and a great presentation that's visually appealing as well as content appealing. And now sharing that information and sharing the presentation, you'll see up here, you can click share. And there's several ways to share it. You can share it like we showed you before by email if you'd like to, saying that some can just view and some can comment and some can go in here and view and actually make some edits. Or you might decide to just use the copy link and have everybody share at the same level. It's really your choice how you'd like to do that. But now this makes it easier for that remote working. So you see the get the link. You can decide to restrict it. Let me show you how to do that here. So you see that in person. So let me get us out of version history here. So if I want to share this, I can copy this link and share it that way. But then I can also decide if I click here that I want anyone with the link can see it. So it's not even restricted. So I can just copy that link, especially if I'm just sending out to everybody. Let's say I'm doing a fundraising update or you know, a volunteer list or something. I might want to share it with everybody. All right. Any questions before we leave this area? Okay, because you can present, just so that you know. Let me go back a slide, or actually let me show you here in my live demo I was doing. You can share this. You see this here? You can slideshow and do presenter view. The reason I'm not doing that for you right now is because I am using another tool. It would actually end our webinar and start this one if I do this. So I don't want to do that to you, but you can try that on your own in your free Google account. All right. We've covered a lot today, and I'm happy to cover everything that you want or anything that you want in more detail and answer your questions. But let's recap, because remember what I said when we started this whole session is that knowledge is not powerful until it's applied. So the first thing to do is, as you look at Google to-do sheets, first have a free Google account, either free Gmail or free Google account. Try the to-do list. Try to use a sheet on your own. The best way you can learn is to click around and play in there. But of course, you'll have this copy of the sheet since you've commented in the question box, and you can follow along to make sure you've not missed any steps. Try doing an agenda. Try doing notes. So try using Google Docs. Really see how it works. If you've used Word, really get an idea and feel how comfortable it is, and it feels like you're just within that same format. Then also try putting together a Google Slides. If you've never used, a lot of people have not used Google Slides within here. Now you have all of this available to you and readily available to present. And what's nice even is you have Google Meet, because any free Google account has, so that's free Gmail or free personal Google account, you have Google Meet available to you. So Google Meet works just like Zoom, and you can use this without any subscription. So if you're not familiar with that, I'm happy to show you that as well. But you have free forms that you can use, so you don't have to use SurveyMonkey or anything like that, because you've got free forms here that when people fill out the form, it already populates in a Google Sheet, like an Excel spreadsheet, so that's all there. You have free websites available to you. Yesterday, I was training and working with people on how to start their free Google site, because Google sites are free websites. And remember what I showed you with the template gallery? You can do that with Google Sites too, and already have a template gallery in place. Some people like to use it as their website. Some people like to use it as an internal site to use for HR, for onboarding, to make sure that everybody in marketing or in operations has all the right information. You can also use Google Calendar, and I mentioned Google Meet, how you can meet there and be able to connect without having to worry about any other subscriptions or any other tools. So for today, really, to get the most out of it, what is it that you're going to add to your to-do list? I would love to know. Let me know in the question box. And I do see a question here. When I share a document from my drive, if they're able to edit it, will it edit what's in my drive or save a version in the drive and mine remains the same? No, Cheryl, it will actually edit what's in your drive as well if you're sharing it with them and you've given them the opportunity to edit it. But let me show you again how you can find it if you want your own version, your previous version. So before you share it, what I like to do to make sure that I keep my previous version is I will do this. Go File. There we go. Go to Version History and then click See Version History. So you click on File, the drop-down menu appears. When you go to Version History and hover over this arrow here, you'll see Version History. Click on that. You'll see this right-hand column adjust here. And let's say this is what I shared out with everybody, but this is my original and I want to save it. So I click here, I click Make a Copy of my original, and I can say Original Template. If I can type, all right, and now I can make a copy and save that to my drive. So there is the one that everybody's editing right here, and then there is this version. Okay, does that make sense, Cheryl? So you can keep, and you can make as many as you like. In fact, when I'm teaching people how to write resumes, and you really do need, every resume needs to be customized to the actual position that you're going for, then I show them how they can copy their resume and make tweaks and adjustments to be personalized to the actual job that they're applying for, but they don't have to worry about retyping their resume every single time because you can just have several renditions of it. Just like the same thing you can do with your docs, Cheryl, if you want to keep one that's your original, okay? Just to preserve that. Was that helpful to you? Was that the answer that you were looking for, or is there any further question that I can help you with that? Okay, and let me know in the question box, those of you that are here in the room, what you plan on taking action on right away. Just let me know in that question box. All right, Cheryl, thank you so much. If you do want to learn more, then you can learn a lot more on YouTube, right? There's a lot there. If you don't know it, Google also owns YouTube. Google's the #1 search engine in the world. YouTube's the #2 search engine in the world and the #2 social network, and both are owned by Google. So it's really important, especially if you're a small business here in the room, that you understand how Google search works, because it does predominantly have as the majority of eyeballs looking at it when they're looking for information to know, go, do, or buy. But when you go to youtube.com/grow with Google, you can learn more and see walkthroughs of different things that we've just talked about here. And if you're interested, you may not be aware that during Small Business Week, which was earlier this year, Google actually launched Google Career Certificates. It was in existence before that you had to pay for the ability to attend, and you still do, but small businesses that have an EIN number, so that proves that you are an actual small business. So if you got a small business EIN number, you have the ability to get the scholarship for you instead of having to pay the actual tuition fee. This career certificate is absolutely recognized by over 3,000 businesses, so major employers, major hires, as well as universities. And you might want to just have it so you can feel really comfortable in understanding project management, understanding IT support, or even data analytics, perhaps even you're in digital marketing. So if you'll go to grow.google/certificates, it'll let you know how you can apply. It's really quick. You can go, of course, apply and pay the tuition, but a lot of small businesses are taking advantage of this because every small business has access to 500 free seats into the career certificates. So definitely take a look into it. Our entire team of 45 people are all involved taking these career certificates, okay? And then, of course, what I said earlier at the beginning of the whole session was this is the website, google.com/grow. If you'd like to learn more and see what your Google partner can help you with, what you'd like to bring me back for, to do any training with, whether you're a teacher, a student, a job seeker, any of the above here, feel free to look around there and see if there's any information that you would like them to help you with. And everything that I've talked about today, this is what I call the money slide. Everything that I brought up, you'll see here, every free resource. So if you want to take a screenshot of this, this before you get the copy of today's slides and the copy of the actual recording in 24 hours, you might want to take this screenshot to help you already start what you want to do. Okay, I see one person in here has said they're going to start their to-do list. So I've got one person that's taken this good, interesting information and is going to take action on it. Who else in the room is going to answer the challenge and actually take action on what you learned from here today? So let me know in the question box, okay? And again, if you've got any other questions, reach out to the Google partner who invited you, because they truly do want you to be successful and they are there for you. So that's who brought you here today, who actually brought me here today. And these are our Google partner hosts here. Let's see. All right. All right, perfect. Absolutely. I see people are going to take action. So what's the one thing that you'll take action on? Because I covered a lot today. I'd love to know and support you. And if you want to know any of the other training that I am going to be doing, they're all free webinars. You can go to mariacoaches.com. You can find that there, or reach out to the Google partner who invited you, okay? Because they also have access to me and we can do all sorts of customized trainings that you would like, again, to help you get better and reach and lessen that gap of your digital skills and reach the level that you want, okay? All right, let's go into Q&A. Remember what I said in Q&A? I'm going to stop